Good morning today, 31st August 2024. We are going to discuss editorial sum. Today editorial we will take from several newspapers and we will discuss good articles. First article it talks about India's plan to host 2036 Olympic Games. Recently, Prime Minister of India Narendra Modi during Independence Day speech on August 15th he announced India's dream to host 2036 Olympic Games. There are preparations are being made for this to host 2036 Olympic Games. This is very bold statement come from Indian state. India never hosted, if you see in the history, never hosted Olympics before. India almost underperformed in the Olympic Games, even in global athletic arena also. India has limited world class track and even field infrastructure also. But Olympic ambition, this is not very far from us. We can host. Our country's sporting prowess is growing day by day. Most of the people participating in the sporting area, even sports person, they enjoy enormous respect among the peers, even from the countrymen also. Indian sports engagement is at all-time high now. Whether India's success in its Olympic bid, whether it will succeed or not, it will depend on how India build consensus within in India beyond its borders. Why it need to build consensus within India or beyond its borders? You might have seen recent Olympics, Tokyo, Rio, and recent Olympics, Paris Olympic also. There was considerable backlash from the states and the local people also, because huge amount of funds will be spent on Olympic Games, and then huge infrastructure is also needed. So those people who are at those areas where Olympic being hosted, they argue that if that money could have been spent on welfare schemes, even human development, that could have helped. But there are several arguments is there. That's why India need to build consensus within India, even beyond its border also. What is what are the things we need to ensure before hosting future Olympic Games? One thing we need to understand is Olympic game hosting is one of the marathon apart. You need to run continuously for hundreds of miles before reaching your destination. We can see from Paris 2024 Olympic Games also. There is a lot of ground to cover, preparation for infrastructure activity. If you take Paris, for example, there were almost 329 medal events in 32 sports, including 4 additional sports also. These sports bring best athletes in the world at all and at one location. Even not to mention, there will be lakhs of tourists to watch these athletes. Since 2019, the process of host bidding, it has gone complete overhaul. It has gone complete changes. These changes are part of reform brought by International Olympic Commission. This is monitoring body which overlooks the Olympic Games everything. They came to know that there were allegations of corruptions that were made in the award of tenders in 2016 Rio Olympics, even in 2020 Tokyo game also. This revamped selection process, this was first tried in 2021 when a bidding process was conducted to choose Brisbane city as a host city for 2032 games. The contender cities now engaged in confidential exchanges by Future Host Commission. Remember this name? Future Host Commission, FHC. This is a dedicated body set up by IOC. What it does, it basically identifies whether the city is capable of hosting Olympic Games or not. And then it will identify contract also. It will prevent the corruption, and it will maintain transparency. This remission of Future Host Commission, this goes beyond integrity. It runs feasibility assessment, it studies even environmental concerns, and as we discussed, human rights standard also part of this process. International Olympic Commission expected to hold elections for this body, and it will hold dialogue also by 2026. So members will be vote to choose the host 2036 games. As India aspiring to become, so we need to make a lot of preparatory activities. India marched towards this Olympic ambition. It began in Not now, it began in almost 2010. Delhi hosted Commonwealth Games in 2010. Union government then reformed our sports association through National Sports Development Code, that is called Sports Code. There was even a greater focus on improving sports ecosystem from grassroots level. There was a scheme, and today the scheme is continuing, that is launched in 2017, known as Khelo India scheme. Under this scheme, the focus of upgradation of sports infrastructure, development of the talent, promotion of the sports, even sports academics also. Under Khelo India, Rising Talent Identification Program will happen. There will be a push to develop and identify talented individuals between the age of 9 to 18 years. The committee will be formed for identification of talented individuals and even recommends for Khelo India individuals. They will be nurtured with support arrangement from government. At Paris Olympics this year, for example, 28 Indian athletes, those who have participated in Paris Olympic, they are from Khelo India activity. So you can consider the seriousness put up in India. However, considering 1.4 billion population, number of people being selected in the sports area is very low. There is a need for encouragement also. Even if you see sports is a state subject in Indian constitution. It is included under 33 state list in the 7th schedule of the Indian constitution. If you take several states and union territories, Tamil Nadu leads in terms of infrastructure. Recently, government of Tamil Nadu, they announced global sports city on the outskirts of Chennai. It is expected to, have international facility, even multi-purpose stadium, football grounds, athletic tracks, Olympic-sized swimming pools, velodrome, sports science facility, sports medicine center, even other sporting infrastructure also. Tamil Nadu has taken leap when it comes to bench sports, even beach sports also. Kovalam, this is a coastal town in Tamil Nadu, in Chennai. They have hosted international surfing events. Chennai hosted international beach volleyball tournament in 2010 and even international sailing regatta in 2014 also. What is need to be done to go ahead? The biggest expenditure for countries organizing Olympic Games is from building sports infrastructure. Paris capitalized on these venues and facilities already existing in France, so they reduced their capital expenditure. But when it comes to India, we have to spend a huge amount of money because we don't have adequate sports infrastructure. However, there are 3 states we can consider basically. One is Tamil Nadu, another one is Odisha, next one is Delhi. If you see Tamil Nadu has almost 390 Olympic standard infrastructure facility. Delhi comes in second place with almost 161 sports infrastructure facility, whereas Odisha has 153 number of sports facility. Tamil Nadu hosted South Asian Federation Games in 1995, even Khelo India Youth Games in 2024, and Tamil Nadu invested considerable sporting infrastructure. If you say Bhubaneswar in Odisha, they hosted FIH Odisha Hockey Men's World Cup in 2023, and it showcased world-class sporting facility. By leveraging states such as Tamil Nadu, Delhi, and Odisha, which we have the sports infrastructure, India is in a better position to advance cost-efficient, even eco-friendly bid to host 2036 Olympic Games. There is much at stake when India to bid host at 2036 Olympics. Apart from this sporting infrastructure, we need to bring all the parties, governments, stakeholders across political and territorial lines. They must come together in national interest. The leadership, this must come from highest form of government, from union government. India's Olympic bid must necessarily constructed through collaborative, cooperative approach among all the stakeholders. State must taken into confidence. Then they must build multi-stakeholder representative committee. This should be formed to plan India's bid in Olympics 2036. By leveraging expertise of states such as Tamil Nadu, Delhi and Odisha, the committee should put forward best proposal in line with criteria devised by Future Host Commission (FHC). Only these kind of effort would be at national interest, and it will ensure our bid for Olympics in 2026 is truly representative of country's potential. This article is basically written by Manuraj Shanmugan Sundaram. He's an advocate at High Court of Madras, even sports person from DMK party. So this is a good article. Nothing much discussed about politics, but if you see sporting infrastructure, if India aspiring to become Olympic host, it is a good measure. Next article, India recently included a nuclear submarine called Arighat. With this, India's total submarines capacity includes to 18 numbers. During launch of this Arighat, this is the second nuclear submarine. What is the first nuclear submarine? Arihanta. When it was put into place, 2017. What is the significance of this nuclear submarine? This will include triad. What do you mean by triad? Triad means we have nuclear strike capability from three regions. One is air, one is land, another one is from maritime, basically from water. So we have included triad capacity with Arihant. Now including this Arighat will enhance our nuclear ballistic capacity. If you think about this Arighat, this is 6,000 ton. This will join its predecessor INS Arihant. It is key component in India's nuclear triad. As we discussed, what is triad? These are the nuclear missiles that can be launched from platforms such as air, land, at sea also. India is a part of select group of countries which forms nuclear triad capabilities. There are only few countries are there in terms of triad, such as United States, Russia, China and France. India becomes fifth country in terms of the nuclear triad. This induction of INS Arihant into Indian Navy in 2016, it provided India's maritime strike capability for the first time. This commissioning of INS Arighat, this will enhance Navy's nuclear strike capability. Even nuclear capable Agni 2, Agni 4, Agni 5 missiles can also be launched from land fighter aircraft of the Indian Air Force, such as Rafales, Su-M30 MKIs, Mirage 2000s. They can deliver nuclear warheads. If you see Arighat, these are equipped with nuclear propelled indigenously built K-15 missiles. What is the range of these missiles? 700 kilometers. Like Arihant, this Arighat, it is powered by 83 megawatt pressurized light water nuclear reactor. This will allow this nuclear submarine to submerge even undetected for much longer than conventional diesel electric submarines. What is India's nuclear policy? India has no first use policy. India uses nuclear missiles only for deterrence, even retaliation for also. This is included in India's nuclear weapon policy. With its ability to survive nuclear attack and then launch retaliatory strike, nuclear submarine acts as very strong deterrence to Indian continent. If you see Arighat significantly, much more technologically advanced than the Arihant. Ministry of Defense, they told in a statement also, construction of Arihant involved, advanced design, manufacturing technology, the detailed research and development, utilization of special equipments, complex engineering and highly skilled workmanship also. It has, distinction of having indigenous system, equipment. They are conceptualized, designed, manufactured, integrated by Indian scientists, industry, even naval personnel also. If you see about Arihant is a nuclear powered submarine project that was initiated, more than 3 decades ago. It involved private firms, Defense Research and Development Organization, DRDO, even help from Russia. Arihant was launched in 2009, commissioned in Indian Navy in 2016. It is the first nuclear powered submarine in India. INS Arihant conducted its first deterrence patrol in 2018. Thus, it established India's nuclear triad. In 2022, Ministry of Defense announced successful launch with high accuracy of this nuclear submarine ballistic missile in the Bay of Bengal by Arihant. This will be roaming in Bay of Bengal. Submarine launched ballistic missile, SLBM, just remember. So, if you see Navy submarines, 2 nuclear ballistic submarines larger than this Arihant and Arighat, they are under being construction with 7,000 ton displacement. So they are currently built. So First of these two will be said to have launched in 2021. This is awaiting for commissioning. These are going for a lot of trials and tests. The second is in the world as a first separate classified project. This is happening. If you see submarines capacity, United States has almost 14 number of Ohio class SSBNs, 53 fast track submarines. China has 12 nuclear submarines, out of which 6 are nuclear powered attack submarines. India's Navy also 16 conventional submarines in service. If you see 7 Sindhu Ghosh Kilo class we'll call, 4 Shishumar class, and 5 French Scorpion Calvary class attack submarines. There are 16 conventional submarines are there. India procured USSR developed diesel electric Kilo class submarines from mid 1980s onwards. These boats have lifespan of around 30 years. They can serve for almost somewhat longer for 5-10 years with lot of retrofitting with modern devices. The Shishumar class submarines, they were developed by German yard HDW. They subsequently built in India and were commissioned from 1980s onwards. So 3 types of there: Kilo, Shishumar and even Calvary. Calvary is in association with French and India's Majgan dockyard. This is the first of these submarines, INS Calvary. This was commissioned in 2017, followed by several other vessels. To carry out full spectrum of operation, now Indian Navy is authorized to have operation on these 18 submarines, 16 conventional and 2 nuclear submarines, a milestone that has been achieved with INS Arighat. So anytime 30% of these 18 submarines may go for some retrofitting, some maintenance activities. India's maritime capacity may reduce because of these maintenance act. So we need to bring more vessels. That's what author says. This is good article. India's second nuclear submarine. It includes nuclear triad. Next article. This is about public sector undertakings, how they can evolve and include French way. Basically, this article about the productivity. If you see in India, many of the times we will be talking about investment, increase in the fund for infrastructure development. Investment must come from both sides. One is government and private sector also. Private sector, how they will get the investment? They should have the good project and good return should be there. And market condition, government favorable economies, government condition should be in favorable conditions. Otherwise, those things will not work out. So, if you see private capital investment, it is slowly reducing. If you see 23-24, prior to this year, investment fell by almost 15% over previous year. This shows private investment is reducing. Banks, non-banking financial companies, they are offering loans. Even private capital lending is also happening at a fast pace, but this private investment is reducing. What are all the reasons? We have all several audit mechanisms, internal audits, safety audits, even ease of doing business, though in India is improving, but there with a lot of cost. If you see with one area, if there are several factory organized firms are there, 79, almost 80% of the factories, they hold just only 20% of India's available workforce. That means if 100 people are there, only 20 people are being employed, though they are even unskilled laborers also. Why? These are all because government putting lot of restrictions. Even they have to follow lot of obligations from government side. Even statutory authorities also. These things need to be taken care if we want to increase private investment. When private investment happens, generally what should happen? Output must grow and it should help in improving the employment capacity. But however, these things are not happening. If you take several countries, European economies, even Japan and Korea, they followed the same model. Author brings one example wherein public sector undertaking, they can perform largely. right? Government, by investing in public sector undertakings, government can improve unskilled laborers and then manpower intensive industries. He gives the example of French way, how French has reformed public sector undertakings in France. After World War II, Keynesian economy basically we will call. What is Keynesian economy? Keynesian is an economist. He gave economic principle. State must invest in industry in order to increase the output. So basically what he is telling is, if state government increases its investment in manufacturing sector or any other sector, it will increase its output. However, French government gone in different way. They took public sector undertakings complete overhaul. Public sector undertakings, they are the government employee people. They have considerable talent. If you see even in India also, there are several public sector undertakings are there. Banking sector, manufacturing sector. Most of the people, they come from good technological institutions. When it comes to manufacturing sector, there will be a people from IITs, NITs, they can contribute immensely to this sector. French followed the same way. After World War, they built completely, they invested a lot in these sectors. Even these enjoyed good respect compared to their peers, those who are working in the private sector. In 2015, there were almost 89 functionaries per 1,000 people in this public sector. So you can understand how these things are going. Generally, what happens in public sector? There is always like inefficiency, and then there is a lethargy how to proceed forward. Even public sector sometimes may run into losses. But when it comes to French area, they have completely overhauled. They are profit generating sector. So they have become most glorious sectors in French. Even France government noted that this from 1941 they worked for almost 30 years. Those were very glorious years that have put up these public sector undertakings on the top priority. Even it imported efficiency, quality, and public service delivery mechanism also increased. So if you have this public sector of this kind, there will be always daylight. And then private sector also depend on public sector, and then it will improve the overall economy also. So India can do it too, even better than with good imagination and with good strategy. Like France, India also has highly qualified personnel, but they lack the intention. Government should come with good intention to utilize public sector undertakings. If they are inspired, they too can deliver world class products across different sector. We need that spirit. Remember Renault automobile company. This is you might be thinking this is a private sector company. No, this is a French government controlled company. Therefore, state sector can also produce quality. France, without doubt, has its own breed of Keynesians, but they do not, intervene. They basically channelize their energy. The same thing India can also proceed, and then India can improve India's public sector undertaking capacity. This is very good article from public sector undertaking point of view. Next article about powering sustainability with battery, recycle and reuse. If you see India stands at transformation era where energy independence and sustainability, they are not just aspirations, they are the achievable goals. If we accelerate towards low carbon future, our nation is making strategic strides to build self-reliant manufacturing base, enhance our export competitiveness, even address pressing climate change concerns. In this journey of pressing climate change and improve the environment, critical minerals like lithium, copper, cobalt, they are backbone of emerging technology, especially electric vehicles. They are key to reducing carbon emissions also. Ensuring this sustainable supply chain for this, therefore these supply chains are very vital for ensuring clean environment. Our focus should be recycling, innovation, circular economy practices. They not only reduces reliance on imports but also put India as a global leader in green technologies. First thing what we need to do, exempting custom duty on almost 25 key minerals like lithium, copper and cobalt. These minerals will be more accessible in India. This will boost production, even lowering cost. Those who are buying electric vehicles, they can buy at low cost and then it increases our output also. Critical raw materials, they make up 60% of the cost of manufacturing. Even electric vehicle battery, they are found mainly in very few countries. If we follow such a kind of restriction, there will be supply chain disruptions because geopolitical issues. Suppose say tomorrow United States comes and puts sanctions on countries such as China and Russia, then our supply chain will be thwarted. Though we disagree with China several times, but we need this critical infrastructure, critical minerals to build our great infrastructure. We need practical plan to create sustainable and secure supply chain for lithium ion batteries within India from outside also. This ensuring steady access to these minerals, it reduces our need for mining also. India announced critical mineral missions for domestic production, recycling, overseas acquisition of critical mineral assets. This is also very significant step towards promoting circularity, securing this supply chain. The critical mineral mission will play a good pivotal role in developing the entire supply chain of critical minerals. This include production to recycling, wherein supporting research, innovation, technical expertise, workforce development, trade and market access, enabling viable financing solution, all these things forms under critical mineral mission. Recycling of old batteries, this can greatly reduce need for new mining. By 2040, almost 55% of copper can come from recycling old batteries, 25% of lithium, 35% of cobalt and nickel, these things come from recycling. Adopting these circular battery practices, they also cut battery life emissions by 7 to 17%. From 2022 to 2030, India can produce 120 to 180 gigawatt hour of used lithium ion batteries from energy storage and transport. Recycling these batteries can help India create domestic supply chain and support India's net zero goals 2070 and ensure energy security also. India already started making measures towards effectively reducing battery waste, reusing, recycling, repurposing batteries. In 2022, India introduced battery waste management rules to integrate recycling into lithium ion battery supply chain. Battery waste management rule, solid waste management rule, plastic waste management rule, all these rules have been brought out, but effectiveness and efficiency is lacking basically. These rules include extended producer responsibility. What is extended producer responsibility? Those who are producing these wastages and then those who are receiving, they should collect and hand over it back. This is called extended producer responsibility. If we go forward, we need transparency, recycling outputs and rigorous extended producer responsibility enforcement. Most of the time, if you go in areas, you can find many of the shampoo sachets. If you go to waste management policies, even in waste, batteries also lying here and there. These batteries have not been collected. So enforcement is a requirement. In G20 presidency, India initiated resource efficiency and circular economy industry collaboration. It promotes resource efficiency, circular economy practices. Additionally, Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, they have transferred cost-effective lithium-ion battery recycling technology to 9 recycling industries, even startups, as a part of Mission Life's Promote Circularity campaign. Remember this one, Mission Life. While the pursuit to create sustainable and circular battery economy system has been started, it takes a long time to go. The budget this year, they have significantly increased allocation for 2 production linked incentive scheme for battery storage and automobile and auto components. This gives opportunity time to promote adoption of this circularity friendly design of when demand increases. By 2030, India is expected to generate almost 128 gigawatt hour of end life lithium ion waste with over 59 gigawatt hour from electric vehicles. So these area, by promoting circular economy, we can reutilize them and recycle them. Establishing robust domestic refining capacity, this will create recycling market in India. By 2030, 54% of end of life batteries worldwide are expected to be recycled. this will meet 7% of material needed for lithium ion battery production. This is very huge also. See, if you want to spend 7% on the raw material, this will cost a lot. So India can reduce basically. In India, this recycled material could produce almost 60 gigawatt hour of new battery cells. Today, we stand at critical junction that will shape this rapidly evolving industry. There are Indian startups, Atero, Batex, Loham, Exigo, Lico Materials. They are already making significant strides in the battery field. It is time to take proactive step towards accelerating and scaling up of the creation of circular battery value chain. We must establish clear criteria for retiring batteries, even set comprehensive guidelines for post-retirement usage of batteries. While joint efforts towards standardization of manufacturing process are critical, so the initiatives are also very important to integrate informal sector into mainstream. We are leaving informal sector completely. We must boost efficiency through source segregation while enforcing strict safety standards, even forming cross-sectoral partnership for battery reuse. A timely effort is there. Battery 360 Alliance is there. This is a platform to bring together industry, government, research organization, even technical experts. They create sustainable and circular battery ecosystems in India. These kind of collaboration, this will help in reuse, recycling, repurposing by providing integrated space for co-creating solutions. Battery manufacturing, recycling not only support India's transition to low carbon economy, it also drive economic growth by reducing dependence on imported raw materials. This will create jobs. This will foster innovations also. Establishing robust battery industry will position India as a global leader in green technology, even contribute to energy security also. Today we discussed 4 articles. Thank you. Thank you very much for discussion.